News.
All right, Lenny, thank you very much. Congressman Richard Hudson from the 8th District just sat in at the Emergency Operations Center, heard Governor Cooper's update. He joins us now from the Operations Center. Congressman, thank you for joining us here for a few moments. Your district hits parts of the Sandhills, heads west towards Charlotte. This seems the next part of the storm. What are you most concerned about?
Well, Tim, great to be with you. I had an opportunity to get together with the governor here before his press conference, and we're working very closely with our federal, state, local partners to make sure that we are rescuing folks, getting folks out of harm's way, but also looking ahead already to the recovery. And right now, in my district, runs from downtown Fayetteville to downtown Salisbury. Immediate concerns are our neighbors in Cumberland County, Hope County, Moore County. But really all across the district and all across the state, the message is you're not safe and you need to pay attention. And because the flooding is coming, and we're looking at historic levels of flooding all across North Carolina. And so folks need to be vigilant. They need to heed the warnings of local authorities. And if you're told to get out, you need to get out.
And Congressman, do you have any concerns? I know that a lot of folks are comparing this flooding to that of Matthew from just a couple years ago. What are your concerns that it was, just a few years ago and some of these areas are still recovering from that?
Well, it's a real concern, in Cumberland County, particularly around Hope Mills, but there are a number of dams in Cumberland County that we're still working on getting back to shape. And the Hope Mills Dam is one that we're particularly worried about at this hour. It's a real concern, And part of our recovery phase, once we get through this sort of rescue phase, is going to be trying to make smart decisions about how we rebuild, where we rebuild, trying to take into account these flooding situations and the realities that these communities are dealing with.
Congressman, one last question, because I know you need to get going. In fact, you're going to be touring some areas, but there's been, frankly, a lot of political bickering about the president's response with Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. He has promised help to North Carolina, and he's coming to North Carolina this week. What can you tell us from the perspective of the federal government helping North Carolina in the weeks, months, and years ahead?
Well, the important thing for people to know is that President Trump has pledged his full support to me and other members of our delegation. Governor Cooper is providing great leadership. This is not about politics. This is not about party. This is about federal, state, and local working together to get our folks out of harm's way, deal with the immediate aftermath of the storm, and then working together to rebuild our communities. And so I've been very pleased with what I've seen from the federal level. I was in the Federal Operations Center in Washington a few days ago, meeting with the FEMA folks and looking at how they were getting resources here to us, whether it's pre-positioning medical or food, whether it's getting boots on the ground. I've been really impressed with the federal response so far. Also, same with the governor and the folks at the state level.
All right, Congressman Richard Hudson, the 8th District, North Carolina. I know you're going out and you're going to probably tour some areas, so be safe. Thank you for a few moments this afternoon.
Absolutely. Thank you for the great coverage that you folks have been providing.
All right, thank you, sir.